than a moment. You're more than a moment to me. Don't care where we go as long as you're going with me. And all the days before the day that you became
Blaze in the steel. Bring the heat. Mix it non-stop. In your face. All over the place.
This is High Power 102.7 FM.
Yes, awesome Friday morning to you listeners out there. The program you're on to is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. It is a program where we preview and review headlines and news making rounds in the papers for your listening pleasure. I am INIOLUWA ADEKOYA, and this morning I've got with me the Old Newspaper, the Daily Post newspaper, the Patch newspaper, and the Nation's newspaper. Right about now, I will take a short break. When I get back, I'll give you headlines making rounds in the papers this morning. Yes, glad to have you back. Like I said earlier, the program you're on to is in the papers, coming to you from the stables of iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of the list of our headlines this morning from the Old Newspaper, Ayedatiwa Job Initiative rekindles hope, says beneficiaries. Yes, still in Ondo State, Ondo LG Chair reaffirms commitment to preserving cultural heritage. And now moving to Osun State, talking Osun governorship, vote buy-in, voters' apathy, may Mapo done for once. Yes, still on the old newspaper, veteran journalist Pa Atundeyi for burial today. Still on the old newspaper, 36 state embrace renewed hope agenda through NG Cares, solid hope program says NGF. Yeah, still talking headlines on the Old newspaper, lack of price regulation, standardization fueling soaring tomato cost, says farmers. Yeah, still on the Old newspaper, alleged bribery, Bajabia Miller files defamation suit against fake agency. And now to the Daily Post newspaper, still taking headlines. Nigerian's ambassador designate to Mali receive letters of credence. Yes, so now still on the Daily Post newspaper, we've got this coming from Shura. EFCC is finished, now symbol of joblessness, misplaced priority, says Shura. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, Akpabio Oshomole clash over Fashiona's confirmation as ambassador. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, nurses issue Nigerian government 15-day ultimatum threatening nationwide warning strike. And now to the Punch newspaper, still taking headlines, talking autonomy battle. State defies Supreme Court control 10 trillion naira local government allocations. Yeah, still on the Punch newspaper, talking headlines, talking 2027 election. INEC unveils mock presidential poll plan. Yes, and now to international matters. Trump limits foreign students to 4-year U.S. stay. Yes, and now to the nation's newspaper. 6 months to presidential poll. INEC raises preparation tempo. And now, finally, talking headlines from the nation's newspaper, Tinubu launches $3.5 billion poverty reduction plan. Yes, and with that, I will go on another short break. When I get back, I'll give you more headlines and more news making rounds in the papers this morning. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM, and I will be right back. Glad you're still there. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of the list of our news this morning from the Old newspaper, Ayedatiwa Job Initiative rekindles hope, says beneficiaries. And now to the details. 7 residents of Ondo State who secured employment opportunities through the intervention of the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Sheun Bosede Osamaye, have praised Governor Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa-led administration for its commitment to job creation and human capital development. The beneficiaries expressed their appreciation during a courtesy visit to the Commissioner as part of activities marking her first year in office. Addressing the beneficiaries, Osamaye said the appointment demonstrated the administration's efforts towards reducing unemployment and promoting inclusive growth by providing qualified citizens with opportunities to serve in government establishments. She explained that the government had continued to focus on economic empowerment, employment generation, and human capital development to improve the well-being of residents. The Commissioner said public service provided an avenue for leaders to make meaningful contributions to society by creating opportunities that positively affect the lives of citizens. She further disclosed that the 7 beneficiaries represented the third set of people whose employment opportunities had been facilitated through our office since she assumed duty on the 14th of July 2025. Osamaye commended Governor Ayedatiwa for creating an environment that enabled public office holders to support qualified residents seeking employment despite prevailing challenges in the labour sector. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline, Ayedatiwa's Job Initiative rekindles hope, says beneficiaries. Yeah, still on the Old newspaper, now moving to Osun State, talking Osun governorship, vote buy-in, voters' apathy, Beima poll done for once. And now to the details. The professor in political science of the Federal University, Oyekiti, Professor Shola Omotola, has identified voters' apathy and vote buy-in as major threat to the credibility of the August 15th, 2026 Osun State governorship election. Omotola made the observation during a policy dialogue titled Voters' Apathy and Prospect for Improved Voters' Turnout on the Osun governorship election, where stakeholders examined causes of declining voters' participation and explored measures to strengthen electoral integrity. Omotola noted that many Nigerians had lost confidence in the electoral process, resulting in persistently low voters' turnout. He further stressed that restoring public trust in the Independent National Electoral Commission was essential to resolving voters' apathy. He recommended the INEC institutionalize post-election reviews and exit polls to better understand voters' experience and improve future electoral processes. The university Don also questioned the continued conduct of off-cycle governorship elections, arguing that holding elections at different times across state has not significantly improved voters' participation. He urged electoral authorities to consider conducting major elections simultaneously when constitutionally feasible. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, Osun governorship vote buy-in, voters' apathy, Myanmar poll done for once. Yeah, still on the Herb newspaper, lack of price regulation, standardization, fueling soaring tomato cost, says farmers. And now to the details. Farmers and market operators in Ondo State have blamed the soaring cost of tomatoes on the absence of government regulation and standardization in the tomato value chain, saying the lack of oversight has worsened price instability and left consumers at the mercy of market forces. Some farmers and market operators who spoke with newsmen argued that while insecurity, climate change, rising production cost, and exchange rate volatility have contributed to the surge in prices, the lack of regulated commodity market pricing framework has allowed arbitrary pricing from farm gate to retail market. A tomato farmer, simply identified as Yinka, while speaking with newsmen, highlighted insecurity as the biggest challenge confronting producers, saying many farmers can no longer access their farms for fear of being kidnapped. According to him, the soaring exchange rate has also pushed products cost beyond the reach of many farmers. He explained that climate change had equally reduced supplies from northern Nigeria, traditionally the country's largest tomato producing region. Beyond production challenge, he lamented the absence of government regulation in tomato marketing. If that story aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, lack of price regulation, standardization, fueling soaring tomato cost, says farmers. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Herb newspaper. Alleged bribery. Gbajabia Miller files defamation suit against fake agency DG. And now to the details. Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabia Miller, has filed a 15 billion naira defamation suit against Prince Adeyemi Matthew at the Federal High Court, Abuja, of allegations that he demanded a 48% kickback from the 27.3 billion naira takeoff grant approved for the federal agency. In a suit, Gbajabia Miller is seeking 10 billion naira in general damages, 5 billion naira in aggravated damages, 200 million naira as the cost of the action, and an order compelling Adeyemi to publish a full retraction and apology in 5 national newspapers. He also asked the court to direct the defendant to pin the apology on all social media platforms and online channels where the alleged defamatory statement were published for 30 days. Through his legal team, led by Kemi Finero SEN, the Chief of Staff described the allegation as false, malicious and defamatory, insisting he had never met or communicated with Adeyemi or authorized anyone to act on his behalf. According to the court filings, Adeyemi had alleged during a press conference that a dispute arose after Gbajabia Miller purportedly demanded a 48% kickback from the 27.3 billion naira takeoff grant, claiming 400 million naira had already been paid through a proxy, while another 200 million naira was required to secure presidential approvals. The case also references Adeyemi's claims surrounding the alleged death of an intermediary, Babatunde Tanimola, and his allegation that security agencies abandoned investigation into the theft of his mobile phones on the order of an unnamed senior official. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, alleged bribery, Gbajabia Miller files defamation suit against fake agency DG. Yes, so now I take a flight to the Daily Post newspaper. Nurses issue Nigerian government 15-day ultimatum, threaten nationwide warning strike. And now to the details. The National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, NANIM, the Federal Health Institution, FHI sector, has given the federal government a 15-day ultimatum to address an alleged victimization of its members at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Banawa, Kaduna. The union warned that it would embark on a 3-day nationwide warning strike if its demands are not met by the 29th of July. In a letter addressed to the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Patel, NAM accused the hospital management of victimizing union officials, failing to implement an earlier Memorandum of Understanding MOU, and creating industrial unrest. The union demanded the reinstatement of its suspended unit chairman, reversal of alleged demotion of 3 nurses, implementation of the MOU, and an investigation into alleged anti-union practices. According to the association, its unit chairman was suspended after providing temporary accommodation for nursing students and clinical posting who were stranded. NAM also alleged that the hospital medical director had failed to implement the agreement reached after the earlier industrial disputes despite government intervention. The union, while referring its commitment to dialogue, warned that failure to address its demands within a 15-day deadline would leave it with no choice but to begin a 3-day nationwide warning strike. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with headline: Nurses issue Nigerian government 15-day ultimatum, threaten nationwide warning strike. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, Nigerian's ambassador designate to Mali receives letters of credence. And now to the details. The ambassador designate of Nigeria to the Republic of Mali, Dr. Geoffrey Ijoma David Chima, has received his letters of credence ahead of his diplomatic posting. The letters of credence were presented to Chima by the Chief of Protocol at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Babangida Wakil, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This was disclosed to the Post by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today. It reads in our code: the ambassador designate of Nigeria to Mali, Dr. Geoffrey Ijoma David Chima, has received his letters of credence. The Chief of Protocol and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Babangida Wakil, presented the letters of credence to him on behalf of the minister. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline: Nigerian ambassador designate to Mali receives letters of credence. Yeah, still on the Daily Post newspaper, EFCC is finished, now symbol of joblessness, misplaced priorities, says Ashowura. And now to the details. The presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, has lashed out at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. In a post on his verified X handle, Ashowura said the anti-graft agency had become a symbol of joblessness and misplaced priorities. He was reacting to the grilling of the two activists, Peter Aka and Precious Oruche, popularly known as Mama P. Recall that the commission invited the duo to offer clarifications over allegations of abuse of Naira. Reacting, Shura said, and I quote, "The FCC has become a symbol of joblessness and misplaced priorities. The real Economic and Financial Crimes Commission criminal appears to be beyond its reach, while the agency increasingly devotes its energy to pursuing easier targets. An institution created to combat corruption should focus relentlessly on grand corruption, public asset theft, money laundering, procurement fraud, and the looting of public resources, not distraction that undermine public confidence in its mission. EFCC is finished." If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, "EFCC is finished, now symbol of joblessness, misplaced priorities," says Shura. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, Akpabio Oshomole clash as Fashiona's confirmation as ambassador. And now to the details. There was a slight drama in the Senate yesterday as Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senator Adams Oshomole disagreed over the confirmation of Professor Abayomi Fashino as a non-career ambassadorial designate amid sexual harassment allegations against him. The disagreement arose when Oshomole argued that endorsing a nominee facing sexual harassment allegations would send a wrong message, particularly to Nigerian women. Oshomole said, and I quote, "Nigerian women have brought to the attention of the Senate that the professor in question has been accused by two women, not orally, and these issues are pending before different courts. I think the general view is that nobody says he is guilty, is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty, but as a matter of sensitivity for the Senate to endorse a man who faces cases like that would amount to being insensitive to the feelings of women, because it is not just one woman, there are two women making different allegations. So I thought that in the matter like this, it would be more prudent to wait and ask the man to clear himself before the court." Recall that the disagreement occurred shortly before the confirmation of the ongoing Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University Oyekiti Foye, Professor Abayomi Fashino, as a non-career ambassadorial designate. The confirmation followed the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, chaired by the Senator Sani Bello, APC Niger North, which was presented by Senator Simon Lalong, APC Plateau South. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, "Akpabio Oshomole clash over Fashino's confirmation as ambassador." Yes, the program you're still on to is in the papers, coming to you from the stables of iPower 102.7 FM. Right about now, I will go on a short break. When I get back, the phone lines will be officially open for comment and contributions to any of the news that piques your interest, any of the news read out to you, and I will be reading more news out to you. The number to call is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. Right about now, we will take a short break. When I get back, we will take calls. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM, and I will be right back. Welcome back. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. The number to call, like I said earlier, is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699 for comments and contributions to any of the news that piques your interest. Yes, so now moving to the Punch newspaper, talking nurse death. Umahi police fight bid to stop autopsy. And now to the details. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, and Ebonyi State Police Command have demanded an autopsy to unravel the circumstances that led to the death of a 26-year-old nurse, Mary Abila, whose corpse was reportedly found at the minister's residence in Oburu, Ohazara local government area of Ebonyi State. Their demand followed the request by the deceased father, Tanko Abila, to the Ebonyi State High Court to withdraw the police investigation into his daughter's death. The father also refused to allow any autopsy on her body, insisting that the family did not suspect foul play in her death. But the police, in a statement by the command spokesperson Joshua Okandu, maintained that an autopsy remained necessary because of the sensitive nature of the case and the need to establish the true cause of the death. Okandu said the police were awaiting the family of the deceased to proceed with the post-mortem examination as part of the ongoing investigations into her death. He added that arrangements were underway to engage the service of pathologists and to conduct post-mortem examination to determine the actual cause of death and aid the ongoing investigation. Okandu further disclosed that the command was awaiting the attendance of the deceased family of their duly appointed representatives, stressing that their presence is essential for the conduct of the post-mortem examination. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Nurse Death, Umahi Police Fight Beat to Stop Autopsy. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper talking 2027 election, INEC unveils mock presidential poll plan. And now to the details. The Independent National Electoral Commission is conducting a comprehensive audit of its electoral technology system and staging a mock presidential election as part of efforts to strengthen preparation for the 2027 general election. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amukbiton SAN disclosed this while receiving the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montgomery, during a courtesy visit to the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. Amukbiton said the proposal, which were being considered by the Commission, were prompted by concerns arising from the 2023 general election, particularly over the reliability of election technology. According to him, the Commission is considering auditing all its electoral system ahead of the 2027 polls and conducting a mock presidential election to test the readiness of its process and technology before the actual election. The INEC chairman noted that the proposed exercises were not originally included in the Commission's budget, but said INEC would explore ways of implementing them because of their potential to strengthen the credibility of the election. He further explained that the proposal formed part of the Commission's broader effort to improve technological reliability, including the continued deployment of bimodal voters accreditation system and INEC result viewing portal, alongside an ongoing review of its cybersecurity architecture, covering system redundancy, penetration testing, and disaster recovery mechanism. Amokwito finally stressed that public confidence in the electoral process depended largely on the reliability of the Commission technology and process. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline 2027 election, INEC unveil mock presidential poll plan. Still on the Punch newspaper, and now to international matters. Trump limits foreign students to 4 years U.S. stay. Yes, and now talking international matters, Trump limits foreign students to 4 years stay. 4-year U.S. stay. And now to the details. The administration of United States President Donald Trump has finalized a new rule limiting more foreign students and exchange visitors to a maximum stay of 4 years in the country unless they obtain an extension from the federal government. The new rule, announced by the Department of Homeland Security, ends the long-standing duration of status policy under which the international students were generally allowed to remain in the U.S. for the length of their academic programs, provided they complied with the visa's requirement. The restriction will apply to students on F-1 visas and exchange visitors on J-1 visas. According to the Washington Post, the Department of Homeland Security acknowledged concerns that some students could struggle to complete their academic programs within the new time frame, noting that many bachelor degrees take more than 4 years to complete, which doctoral programs typically take even longer. Homeland Security Secretary McQueen Mullen said the change was necessary to strengthen immigration enforcement and prevent visas overstay. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Trump limits foreign students to 4-year U.S. stay. Yeah, still on the Punch newspaper, talking 2027, Tinubu presents Shatima APC VP nomination certificate. And now to the details. President Bola Tinubu has presented to Vice President Kashim Shettima the official certificate confirming his selection as the All Progressive Congress Vice President candidate for the 2027 general election. Tinubu handed his deputy the certificate in a small ceremony at his office at the State House, Abuja. In a 45-second video shared by the State House media office, Shettima was being ushered into Tinubu's office by the president liaison officer. The ceremony came days after the APC formally submitted both men's nomination forms to INEC ahead of Commission's July 11th, 2026 deadline for presidential and National Assembly candidates. The nomination forms were presented to the APC National Chairman, Professor Netanwe Wada, at the Continental Hotel in Abuja on the 10th of July on behalf of the president by his special advisor on political matters, Ibrahim Masari. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline 2027 Tinubu presents Shatima APC VP nomination certificate. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, family begs federal government to recover slain or your teachers remains. And now to the details. The family of Deacon John Olaleye, one of the two teachers killed by terrorists during the abduction of pupils and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State, has appealed to the federal government and Governor Seyi Makinde to help recover his remains for a dignified burial. The deceased elder brother and widow made their appeal days after the rescue of the 39 pupils and 5 surviving teachers who spent 56 days in captivity. Recent reports that terrorists killed 1 teacher and abducted 7 teachers and 39 pupils when they attacked 3 schools in Orire local government area on the 15th of May 2026. One teacher, Michael Oyedokun, was later beheaded by the attackers who publicly flaunted the act in a video that went viral. It was after the rescue that authorities confirmed that Olaleye was also killed, bringing the number of teachers killed in captivity to 2. In a post posted by TVC and cited by newsmen, the deceased elder brother said the family only learnt of his death through the state government broadcast announcing rescue operation. He pleaded with authorities to recover the body even if only skeletal remains could be found. The deceased brother also appealed for support for the teacher's widow and 3 children. In a separate video, Olaleye's widow appealed to the government to recover her husband's body and assist the family. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, family begs federal government to recover slain or your teacher's remains. Yes, the phone lines are still open for comments and contributions as regards the news read out to you. Like I said earlier, the number to call is 0816 552-4699, 0816-552-4699. And now two still on the Punch newspaper, 21 die as school bus crashes in Uganda. And now to the details. A bus full of school children returning from a trip veered off the road in Uganda, killing 20 children. We've got a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
I'm Banimi calling from Akumba.
Okay, Banimi.
Yeah. Thank you. My take this morning is on the deceased lady's remains. The lady that died in Dave Mine's residence.
Yes.
Even if the post-mortem is carried out, these guys have everything going for them. The result, the outcome will be influenced. So I just like the family has been reiterating, our remains should be released to the family for immediate interment. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Obanimi. Yes, you can still call in for comments and contribution as regards any of the news and headlines that pique your interest, any of the news that you want to contribute to. The number to call is 0816 552 4699, 0816 552 4699. And now to the Punch newspaper, 21 die as school bus crashes in Uganda. And now to the details. A bus full of school children returning from a trip veered off the road in Uganda, killing 20 children and one adult. The East African country has a notorious road safety record, frequently recording bus and truck accidents along poorly maintained highways. The bus from King David's Junior School in the capital, Kampala, was returning from school trip to CP Falls in Kapchorwa district when it veered off the road. According to preliminary investigation by the police, the driver reportedly lost control of the vehicle, which veered off the road, struck a large stone along the roadside, and overturned. The crash claimed the lives of one adult male and 20 pupils, while 3 adult male and several juveniles sustained injuries. Police shared an image of the badly mangled and overturned bus and said investigations were ongoing, with several children and adults receiving treatment in the hospitals. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline 21 die as school bus crashes in Uganda. Yes, so now I take a flight to the nation's newspaper. Tinubu launches $3.5 billion poverty reduction plan. And now to the details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has unveiled 5 coordinated social and development programs worth about $3.5 billion. It described them as a bold intervention to accelerate poverty reduction, strengthen community resilience, and deepen investment in the Nigerian human capital. The program comprised the Nigerian Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus, additional financing, NGCAS, the solution of internally displaced person and host community solid initiative, and the 3-pronged human capital opportunities for prosperity and equity HOPE package consisting HOPE Governor, HOPE PHC, and HOPE Edu, represented by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy Taiwo Oyedele. President Tinubu said the intervention were designated to translate recent macroeconomic gains into tangible improvement in the lives of Nigerians across wards and local communities. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the nation's newspaper with the headline Tinubu launches $3.5 billion poverty reduction plan. Yes, you can still call in to make contributions to any of the news that piques your interest. Like I said earlier, the number to call is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. Yes, our time is fast spent on the program this morning, and with that final one on the nation's newspaper, we will call it a wrap on today's edition of In the Papers. I sincerely hope this review has kept you informed of conversation making rounds in the papers this morning. Until next time, I remain INIOLUWA. ADEKOYA.